Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and today's shout out goes to Mates Doby. Mates Doby was first to say first on one of my recent videos, and thus wins his shout out, so congratulations. Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here with a review of a neat new drone, the 40RC F3 GPS camera drone. Now, why am I interested in this particular drone? Actually, I kind of like this drone based on what I've been seeing in my backyard, flying it in my backyard. But this is a lower cost GPS camera drone, mainly intended for beginner flyers, folks. I mean, real beginner flyers should be able to fly this. You know, people that have never flown before. This is actually pretty darn easy, and it's a safe drone, and I'll go into that here shortly. Again, it's a low-end cost. It's a lower-cost GPS drone. It's under the under $100 range to get yourself a GPS drone with this. It's folding drone for maximum portability, and with that in mind, let me mention one thing. It does come with a very nice carrying case for the drone and its accessories. A really nice case, so you can just plop the drone in there and take it out with you wherever you want to go and do some GPS flying with this particular drone. Now, this drone weighs less than 250 grams. Actually, it weighs 239 grams. I weighed the thing with its battery installed. And what that means is, folks, that this particular drone does not require registration in most countries. There are some countries that will require you to register because it does have a camera. But for those countries that don't mind the cameras, this weighs less than 250 grams and thus does not require registration. Now, it's available in two different versions. There's one version which has GPS and optical flow, which is the one that I got here. This has both the GPS built into it and the optical flow sensor in the belly. And what that enables is this particular drone can sense GPS satellites and maintain position in space. And if you fly it out far enough and you want to come back and land where it took off, you just press a button and it will do it. Or it'll come back and return to home if it loses signal from the transmitter. Or on low voltage of its battery, it'll come back and land. Well, actually, I believe it just brings it back close to you until the battery runs out, and then it will land itself. And the optical flow sensor, if you don't want to fly with the GPS, if you just want to do a quick shot using the camera without calibrating the GPS system, you can fly it using the optical flow sensor alone. And what the optical flow sensor does is look beneath the belly of the drone and maintain its position in space without drifting by what it's looking through that belly camera. And the advantage of this system is it's very quick to set it up. You just turn on the drone, turn on the controller, connect the controller to the drone, and take off and do your video recordings with this particular drone. Quick setup for close-in shots. Now, the disadvantage of an optical flow system is you will not have return to home capability if you're flying strictly on optical flow, and you will not have the advanced features of circle me, follow me, and waypoints that you would get with using the GPS system. So again, this comes in two different versions. The one version I got here is the one with both GPS and optical flow, and there is a second version, a cheaper version, $20 cheaper, that has the optical flow sensor only. It does not have GPS. Again, if you get that cheaper version, you lose the return to home and landing capability, and you lose the advanced flight control features of circle me, follow me, and waypoints. So keep that in mind if you're weighing getting that cheaper version. I personally wouldn't recommend spending $20 more to get the GPS. You want that GPS capability. This does have brushed motors. Okay, these are brushed motors on this drone. They're not brushless, so we're talking reduced durability of these drones over repeated use for long-term use. These motors will eventually burn out. Fortunate thing is these are common 716 cordless motors. They're very inexpensive, widely available. You'll be able to find replacement motors, but again, brushed motor drones, eventually the motors do fail and do need replaced. The advantage of the brushless is they're more durable. They're less likely to burn out. However, they're more expensive. So, a comparable drone to this in the brushless motor class would cost about $40 more, folks. So you're getting about a $40 saving by going brushed motor. Now, keep in mind this is meant for beginner flyers, and most beginner flyers are eventually going to tire of this drone and want to progress. And about the time that those motors get worn out and tired is about the time you're saying, oh, I want to get a better drone. So it's still, what I'm trying to say is brushed motor drones still have a place in FPV and drone flying, especially for beginner flyers. They're more safe. Okay, these don't spin as fast as a brushless motor drone. They're less likely to hurt you if you get your fingers in there. You know, a brushless motor drone could chop your finger off. You know, well, do pretty good damage to your finger. These brush motor drones, it's very unlikely you're going to hurt yourself. Maybe a little nick, but that's about it. Again, another thing is that keeps the weight down in this drone. It's keeping it below the 250 grams. Okay, and mentioning that, there is another drone out there that looks a lot like this, and and I think they were going for that particular look, that this is a clone of. However, keep in mind that other drone, you know, it is more capable drone, but it costs about 4 times more than this. So although this looks like that other drone, it does not have the capabilities, all the capabilities of that other drone. But you got to keep in mind, you get what you pay for. You know, this is 1/4. You can buy 4 of these for that other drone. So, but it does not have all the capabilities of that other drone that this is a clone of does. Okay, I talked about the brushless or the brushed motors. Let's talk about the battery. This is a 7.4 volt, 1800 milliamp hour battery. It supposedly gives you close to 25 minutes of flight time, up to 25 minutes of flight time, depending on how you fly this drone. It is charged with a micro, what is that? Yeah, that's micro USB right there. That's a micro USB port right there. However, do not use your standard micro USB cable to charge this. In fact, read that warning there. Okay, use this battery charger that's provided. And the reason being, this is not a smart battery. This will not detect when this drone or this battery is fully charged if you use a regular USB port or USB cable, and you will overcharge this battery if you use a regular USB cable. Instead, use the provided charger cable that they give you. Again, this is a micro USB cable also. However, it has a detector system on the USB plug inside that will detect when that battery is fully charged and shut off the charge going to that battery to prevent it from being overcharged. So again, do not use your standard, use a regular USB cable, use the charger that comes with this. Okay, enough said on the battery. Oh, no, not enough said. This is available with 1, 2, or 3 spare batteries. Each of those spare batteries only cost about $7. However, if you want to purchase this drone and try to buy these spare batteries later, it'll be almost impossible, folks, because of the LiPo shipping restrictions. I strongly recommend, if you want additional batteries with the drone, if you're contemplating additional batteries with your drone to continue flying, to purchase the bundled batteries at the time of purchasing this drone. Okay, have them bundled with the drone. Again, it only costs about $7 when you do it that way, and you'll avoid those shipping restrictions. And you know, I would recommend getting at least 1 battery, spare battery. You know, I personally, you know, you get about 20 minutes of flight time, but there's always, you go out in the field and say, well, God, I wish I had 1 more battery to do a little bit more. You're going to want that extra battery. So get at least 1 of these extra batteries when you do purchase this particular drone. Now let's talk about its recording capabilities. If we look on this camera drone, there is no SD card slot. So this does not have any SD card recording capability. Instead, the video and photos from its camera is sent to your phone via 802.11 AC Wi-Fi and is recorded directly on your phone. Okay, so there is no onboard recording capability. Now the disadvantages of that is that you're going to get the inherent video frame dropping and skipping, especially as you get further away from yourself. You know, increase the range of the drone. So expect to see drop photos, drop videos, and eventually frozen video if you fly out of range. And let's talk about the range. FPV ranges of 802.11 AC Wi-Fi is usually about 200 to 300 meters, 300 meters maximum. I would expect to see this get out to about 200 meters. Start to see video issues at about 150 meters based on what I've seen with previous drones that are set up in this particular way. Now let's talk about that 802.11 AC Wi-Fi. I got to mention that and stress this. Not everybody has a phone that is capable of using 802.11 AC Wi-Fi. Okay? Before you purchase this drone, I strongly recommend that you first verify that your phone indeed can receive and use 802.11 AC Wi-Fi. To do that, just Google search your phone's name along with the terms 802.11 and the term specifications, and then see if 802.11 AC shows up in the search results for your particular phone. Okay, enough said on that. Okay, let's talk about the camera. Let's go into details on the camera. Now, this is advertised as a 4K camera. In reality, folks, it's a 1080p camera that transmits to your phone, and then based on the capabilities of your phone through the 4D Pro app, which this uses, your phone will interpolate, electronically enlarge that video to 4K. And as with all, there is no advantage to doing that, folks. I don't know why these companies do that, other than to say that your drone is a 4K camera drone, but it is not. It's a 1080p camera drone that records to your phone. If you do not have a phone fast enough, it will tell you that, but it will record to your phone in that case at 1080p at about 30 frames per second. Okay, and the still photos from this particular camera are not 4K either. They are actually 6K. Okay, it takes frame grabs of that 1080p video and then super enlarges it up to 6K, which the resolution of those stills will be 6144 by 3456 pixels. Okay, now when you do that type of interpolation, that electronic enlargement, again, I got to stress this, there's no improvement to the video or the photos. In fact, they may look blurred or pixelated when that's done. So you might have an advantage if your phone is not capable of interpolating, is what I'm trying to say here, because you want to see it at its original resolution, which is about 1080p. Okay, other things about the drone, I mentioned this, you view the real-time video from this camera on your phone via FPV, they call that FPV, first-person video, to your phone. Via 802.11 AC Wi-Fi, but also the 4D Pro app, which this uses, also gives you the capability of advanced flight control features of Circle Me, where it will circle position, Follow Me, where it will follow your phone, the GPS on your phone, and along with waypoints, where you can select different points on a map, and this drone will fly to each of those waypoints. So that's the advantage of using the 4D Pro app with the GPS version of this particular drone. Now, I mentioned FPV range up to about 300 meters. There's control range from the controller can go out to about 500 meters. Okay, but what's the disadvantage of that is if you could only fly out to about 200 to 300 meters, you'll be flying blind eventually using this controller. You will not be able to record that video out to 500 meters, I guarantee that. So there's no real advantage other than saying that you can probably be assured that your controller, as long as you've got fresh batteries in it, can maintain control of the drone even though you lost video from the particular drone. And the advantage of that would be once you lose video, you can just press this return to home button and bring it back within range of the controller, or range of the FPV. Now let's talk about the controller. The controller has two fake antennas. There are no wires going up in these antennas. These antennas are strictly for looks, folks. Okay, they can be snapped off and thrown away if you wish. It ain't going to degrade the performance of the controller because they're fake. But let's go over the buttons of this particular controller. This button in the top portion here is for adjusting rates of the drone. What I mean by rates is the speed of the drone. If you press it, it goes from beginner to intermediate to expert. You'll hear beep, 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 beep. And each one of those increases the maximum pitch angle of the drone. And as you increase the pitch angle of the drone, the faster it will go. So that's what the rates are for. Now, if this drone drifts, particularly if you're trying to use headless mode, you can adjust that drifting by holding down this button and then moving right or left to counter the drift with your pitch roll stick on the right side here until the drone stops drifting, and then you let go of that button and the drone should maintain its position. The button on the right here is for taking a photo with a quick press, or holding it down will start the video recording, and holding it down will also stop the video recording. And if you simultaneously press both of these buttons on the top here, that will cause an emergency stop and the motors will stop. You only do that if this drone ends up in a bush or a tree or crashes itself upside down. you want to stop those motors, especially if it lands in high grass. You want to stop those motors to prevent them from burning out by pressing both of these buttons, and that should stop the motors instantaneously, okay? Button on the left here, lower left, is for compass calibration. A quick press of that puts us in the compass calibration mode, and you need to do this each and every time you fly GPS mode, and I will show how to do that when we get out into the fields, but remember what that button is. This button here is for automatic takeoff and automatic landing. If you hold it down for 3 seconds, the drone will take off, and hold it down for 3 seconds and the drone will land itself at its position. This button here is for turning the transmitter on and off. This button here is for turning the GPS system off. Say if you, turn the GPS system off. If you want to fly in optical flow mode only, you can press that button and it will turn off the GPS and will switch to optical flow. Why would you want to do that? Well, if you're flying GPS and you start noticing toilet bowling effect where it's going off on its own in ever-increasing circles, press that button to shut off the GPS so it'll switch to optical flow, and then you'll have control of the drone. You can manually bring the drone back home to you using pitch and roll and throttle control. So, additionally, it has automatic return to home capability when you are in GPS mode. By pressing this button here, it'll on command come back to you. And it also has headless mode capability, and I like headless mode for panning shots, and I'll try to demonstrate that when we get out in the field by pressing this button here. That puts the drone into headless mode. Now, what do you get in the box? Let's go over it. You get the box for one, and it's for carrying case here. You also get instruction manuals. You get one that's in Chinese, and you get this instruction manual here, which is in English, Japanese, French, and Russian for those of you speaking those languages. That's what's available in that manual. You get a warning card in Chinese, and using Google Translate with my phone, I figured out what these warnings are. This warning concerns LiPo batteries, and this warning here, it's an auto warning. This tells you who manufactures the drone along with their address. It's unusual. They've actually included the manufacturer's address with this particular drone. And this warnings down here are about small parts, keeping it away from children, watching yourself so you don't get dinged up by the propellers, and hot motors they'll burn you if you touch them. But although I can't see how you're going to touch those motors, they're encased inside the plastic there. Right after a flight, they do get hot though. Other things you get the drone. You get 1, 2, or 3 spare batteries, depending on how many you purchased when you purchased the drone. You get the battery charger. You get a set of spare propellers. You get a screwdriver for, I don't know if that's for removing the propellers. Hold on, folks. Let me take a look here. I'm looking down here. Yeah, it is for removing the propellers from the bottom. I don't know how you'd gain access to those, though, easily. Although, I think this pops up. Oh yeah, you can pry this off and then you use this to remove the propellers to replace them. That's how you would change that particular propeller. And also, you get the controller. So, that's the 40RC F3, the GPS drone. I just flew this in my front and backyard. And I got to say, GPS system seemed to perform very well in my backyard, and the optical flow system, I took it out in my front yard to try it out to make sure it does have optical flow. I didn't show you that to you up close, but this is an optical flow sensor, and that optical flow worked very well on a windy day. So let's take it out into the real field, though, out at one of my test sites, and see how it performs there. So hope you enjoy this flight. Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here on a beautiful day here in Girard. Actually, I think spring's right around the corner, folks. Beautiful day, birds are chirping. I hope it's around the corner because I'm tired of the snow. But anyways, with a review of the 40RC F3. Now, before I fly this in GPS mode, I am going to do a quick flight in optical flow mode to show you how quickly you can get this drone in the air with the optical flow sensor, using the optical flow sensor if you so desire. Now, again, keep in mind the disadvantages of using that optical flow sensor alone means you won't be using the GPS, and without the GPS you lose the ability of return to home capability, follow me, circle me, and waypoints. You won't have those abilities, so those 4 abilities if you're flying in optical flow mode only. Okay, to start the drone, you press and hold this button here until lights go on. Put the drone on a flat level surface, turn on the controller, and before flying, turn off the GPS. Since we're going to fly in optical flow, we're going to start in optical flow. And to start the motors, down and inboard, I believe, or is it down and out? Oh, I got to bind the controller. Controller is bound. And to start the motors down and in, or is it down and out? Down and out starts them. And then giving it throttle. Now let's see if the optical flow actually works on this. Now I do have a wind here in my face. I feel it's about 3 miles per hour. And notice that the drone is holding its position as advertised. So that optical flow does work. And now we're going to do an automatic landing by pressing the land button. Maybe I got to hold that land button. No, it does it. It's coming down. Actually, that's not too bad. Landing back on the pad automatically. Okay, now what I need to do, we're going to fly in GPS mode. So turn the GPS back on. And I want to do a compass calibration before we fly. And to do that, I press this button here. And hold it down to hear your beep. And that puts this drone into compass calibration mode. And its lights are rapidly flashing. And we need to first do circular turns like so, till we hear a beep. We heard that beep. Then we go vertically like so, with the nose down, and continue till we hear a second beep. And we heard that second beep. And the compass is calibrated. You need to do that every time if you're going to fly in GPS mode. Okay, what I'm going to do next, folks, is connect my drone's, or the drone's Wi-Fi signal, that 802.11 AC Wi-Fi signal, to my phone, and then open the app. So hold on, folks, while I do that. Okay, this is the 40RC Pro app available on Google Play and iTunes. We're going to hit go. And we already did the compass calibration, so we're going to hit next, and we already connected this controller. Hit next, and we're going to hit start to fly. And there's our FPV video. And we're going to start the video recording by pressing and holding this right button down. And that starts the recording. And it says that my phone's not fast enough to do that interpolation to 4K, so it's just going to record in that standard 1080p, and that's fine with me. I don't want to interpolate a video anyways. Okay, again, to start the video, start the drone motors down and out. And let's press that automatic takeoff button. And we're going to check the stability. And I am going to get in a picture and say, how do you like my jacket today, folks? Okay, all right, now I'm going to sync up the cameras. And that drone is holding its position nicely. And first off, let's try out the FPV range on this. We'll take it out to about 150 meters or so. So going up and out. Drone's flying nicely. Actually doing a real good job. And I want to go up a bit higher. So if we can see Lake Erie off in the distance. Going up and out. And let me look on my FPV screen. Getting close. Starting to lose a little bit of signal there, but coming back in again, going up higher. And I want to take it up to about 30 meters. Going higher, we're at 30. Heading outbound further to the edge of the field. And right there seems to be the maximum distance that we'll be flying. Doesn't want to go any further, and maybe I need to set, or from there, let's do return to home. And I think I need to check and see if there's a Geofence on this thing. So pressing the return to home button. And let's see how close this return to home is. It's coming back, doing nicely, coming back. It's overhead. And let's see how close that return to home is. So far so good. I think I got the Geofence turned on, and if so, I'm going to do one more flight to test out its range. Is it coming back down? 26, yeah, it's coming down slowly. And while it's coming down, let me check in the upper right corner there of the app and see if we got a Geofence. And sure enough, we do. I want to set the flight distance out further than that. Let's take it out to about 793 and hit save. So that's about, I think that was in feet. This is the problem. Okay, I'm not going to let it go all the way down. I'm going to hit the stop on it. Let's see how close it is. It's actually going to touch the pad. Darn, that's a good landing. Let's go back up again. It did touch the pad. I stopped it from landing by hitting that Geofence, but let's come out of this too. So returning out of there. There we go. And this time, let's see if I can go further. Since I increased the range of the Geofence slider. Because I didn't want to just stop right there. Now what a Geofence does, folks, it prevents you from flying too far. Okay, if you're a beginner flyer and you don't want your drone to fly away if you make a mistake, this will prevent it from doing such. Now I can fly out. I want to fly out over toward the road and stop around the road and then turn around. Going a little further, and actually it seems to be having difficulty it's stopping right there. You know what's causing that, folks, is I think that's the maximum range of this transmitter. Let's see if I can turn the drone. I can turn the drone, but it didn't want to let me go any further than that, so this transmitter might be limited in the amount of distance it can fly. Now, as you can see, we are having some breakup of the Wi-Fi video. It's to be expected in a beginner's drone. Coming around, and let's see it fly back toward me. And from there, let's try the return to home from there. Pressing return to home. And here it comes. Doing a nice job. So, you know, this is a great beginner's quadcopter for beginner pilots. Lightweight, it ain't gonna hurt anybody. It's right overhead again. Let's see how close it is this second time on its return to home. Not gonna hurt anybody if it falls out of the sky or flies away. But all in all, and its GPS is working as desired. Now, the predicted range of this, yeah, they say 200 meters or 300 meters FPV range. Maybe out in the desert where I used to fly, but not out here, folks. I only got to about 150 meters, it looked like, toward the edge of that road. And the control range didn't seem to be that far either with this particular controller. I'm not sure why. They were predicted 600 meters. Maybe the batteries that I got aren't the best in here, but I was only able to get out to about, yeah, 150, 200 meters. And actually, that is a good range for beginner pilots. You know, you don't want to fly too far away. And again, when you fly too far away, you lose that FPV video anyways. So what's the use, really? Okay, let's stop the return to home right there. And we'll try some of the other advanced features of that. Before we do that, let me stop the video recording. Come down one. And I want to demonstrate the photos real quick. Let me get in the picture. Say, one picture. Took a long time to take that picture. Let's try another one. Okay. And downloaded it. And the third picture. Okay, 3 pictures taken with that. And turning the video camera back on. And syncing up the camera. And it's saying confirm. I don't care if it's not taking 4K interpolated video. Camera's interpolated, or camera's been synced. Now in the upper left corner of that box, let's click on that box. And I'm going to move out a bit. And select GPS follow. Okay, let's see if it follows. Now I gotta say, I see quite a bit of lag on this video from the camera. Quite a bit of lag. But you will have problems trying to fly this FPV. But it's doing a good job of circle me, or follow me. It comes toward me. Okay, is it gonna turn? I see that lag seems to be affecting the follow me too. So let me stop that video recording to see if that might be an issue of it. Okay, we'll stop the video recording. And you know what? Let's see, can I switch the cameras? What I'd like to do is, the next thing we've got to do is circle position. Clicking that button again. And where's circle position? It is surrounding. GPS follow me still on. Oh, I gotta hit that red X. Okay. Red X. And it's saying go. Let's hit go again. Next. I don't know why the app did that, folks, but there we go again. Okay, starting the video camera one more time. Video is recording, confirm. Syncing the cameras. Upper left corner, hitting the box and hitting surrounding. And there it goes. So it started there at that position there. It's turning itself. And then it's doing its surrounding, circle me. So the circle me does work on this too. It's actually not too bad. So again, you know, as a beginner's first GPS drone, this actually isn't too bad. You know, you're not getting the quality of like a DJI, DJI Mavic Mini, which this obviously is trying to be a clone of. It's not that though. But what it does do okay for beginner pilots. So hitting that box again, and we're going to hit that red X to see if that stops it. I'm hitting the red X, folks, and there, that broke out of it. And next thing we need to do is waypoints. Okay, for waypoint flying, I want to go up a bit higher, and hitting waypoint flight, and trying to find us on the map here. Now I did try to open this before we came out here. So we're trying to, okay. I'm not seeing the map. I'm not seeing our position. Let's try satellite. Satellite's not working either. So waypoints does not seem to be working properly with this particular drone. So we're going to come back out of waypoints and clicking that. I don't know why the lock's on. Lock is off. I clicked the lock off. That didn't do anything. Standard map. Okay, so waypoints do not seem to work with this drone. So bringing this back over here for the remainder of the flight. Let's see what we can do with this. Plopping it down there, and coming back out, and just going to. Here, clicking in the lower left corner there. And from here, next thing, let's try out how fast it can fly. Okay, we're going to increase the rates. Okay, all the way up to 3. And let's see how it can fly. Now again, this is a beginner's drone, but it is doing well. Coming around. How maneuverable it is. Somewhat maneuverable, I gotta say. Nice little sport drone too, for beginners. You know, I kind of like everything about it. You know, the advanced flight control features are not the best on this. The GPS is working outstanding with it though, I gotta say that. GPS is working real well. Holding the position nicely. Now I got it in headless mode, folks, and the reason I want it in headless mode is, okay, which way is the direction to headless mode? That way. Is I want to do an up and away. Up and away. Okay, bringing it back. Down and back. Let's turn it the other way now. Pulling back and up. Up and away. That's what you can do with headless mode. You do these panning shots. So, we got a headless mode. Headless mode off. And back to normal flying. Fun little drone. Actually, a really nice little drone. I like it. Okay, letting it stop right there. Going up a bit. So, how's our battery situation? Our battery says it's getting low, so I don't know if there's a geofence. Let's see if there's a geofence with this battery. We'll go up and out one more time. And try to see if we can go more than 30 meters away. Yeah, And there does not seem to be a geofence when you're low battery. But I'm going to fly this until the battery actually stops. Well, let's go to lower rate, back to beginner rate. I was flying too fast. Okay, we've done, what haven't we demonstrated, folks? We tried waypoints. Waypoints didn't work. Circle me and follow me works. Let's try follow me again, except this time let's go a little further out. We'll do it from right there. Right there, let's try that follow me. Okay, in the upper left corner of that box, GPS follow. Whoa, low battery. Never mind. Please return in time. GPS follow me. Let's see if it actually works on low battery. Actually, it seems to work, even on low battery. So, you know, there's no geofence with this, no geofence issues with this. How about if I walk toward it? Is it going to sense me walking toward it and start to move away? No, it doesn't seem to do that. Do I actually have geofence or GPS follow me active? It won't activate once you're in low battery, so that's to be expected. So for the remainder of the flight, let's just fly it around and see if it does the actual low battery return to home. Actually, not too bad. Okay, what's it doing now? It won't let me go any further because, okay, a geofence does activate on extreme low battery. Okay, right now, yeah, it's about how many meters? 15 meter geofence. So we're under extreme low battery. So let's get down here and I'll give you my final thoughts. We'll see if it actually does return to home from here to it where it launched from. So my final thoughts, let me sync it up, the cameras. Final thoughts, actually a great beginner's GPS drone. Great beginner's GPS drone. Safe. You're not going to hurt yourself with this. You're not going to hurt other people with it. The GPS works very good. The optical flow works very good. So all in all, you know, those features do work. The follow me, you know, is a little bit off. There's some lag. I'm seeing lag on the FPV video. The circle position worked well, and the waypoints just did not work, unfortunately. But other than that, everything else seems to work. You know, in this price range, you expect some things to work and some things not to. In this case, the waypoints seems to be the issue. Waypoint flying and GPS follow me seems to be a little bit laggy. So let me sync that up right there. So again, we're going to wait here and see what the actual flight time of this drone is. You know, once it gets to very low battery, as it is right now, it does not let you fly further than 15 meters away. So for the remainder of the flight, we'll fly it around this 15 meter circle. I'll show you it bouncing into the geofence. Right now I'm trying to push forward. Pushing forward on this, it's not going any further. Here, I'm going to turn the video off again. I want to make sure I got that video recording. Okay, and starting the video recording one more time. So, and confirm. Again, that's the other thing I don't like is it has interpolated 6K. But let's demonstrate this geofence. Let's go over here to the pad, turn around, or toward the pad, and I'm going to give it full throttle forward. Watch what happens, folks. Pushing full throttle forward, and boom, it hits that wall in the sky. This is a geofence wall. So this is, imagine a 30 or 50 meter circle around the takeoff point. Right now, because it's on low battery, the drone will not allow itself to fly further than 15 meters away in any direction. So let's demonstrate it over there. Boom, hits that geofence wall, that circle, and stops its position. Let's come back over toward us and do it again. Let's hit that geofence circle. Boom. Won't go any farther. So, not too, I like that. This one flew a significant amount of time, so it's not too bad. Although there is a lot more time to fly with this. Again, This doesn't seem to want to go further than about 150, 200 meters, because that's the other thing I forgot to mention. This controller is advertised with 600 meter control range. I only got to about 200 meters, folks, with the controller range. But then again, you don't want to be flying this particular drone out further than about 200 meters, especially if you're a beginner. And there's what's happened is on low battery. It doesn't return to home. Again, it brings itself to within the 15 meter circle, and then it lands itself when the battery is finally exhausts itself. So, all in all, let me sync up the camera one more time. All in all, not too bad a drone for beginners. So, hope you enjoyed this flight of the 40RC F3. This is Quadcopter 101, signing out. Hi, Quadcopter 101 here again. Hey, if you want to get your own shout out in one of my future videos, make sure you subscribe to my channel. It's real simple. Just go to my channel page and click on that subscribe. And also make sure to click that bell button right next to the subscribe button. That way you get notified when I release a brand new video immediately and give you a chance to get that first shout out. So give it a try, folks.